I'm Peyman, CEO and co-founder of Allozymes. My background is always about chemical engineering and biomolecular engineering. When it came to the point that I needed to go to university, I decided to go for chemical engineering and biomolecular science. I was more and more interested to the life science and biomolecular engineering. I had my own company there in my hometown, and that's why I decided to stick to the job and my passion, which is entrepreneurship. So I stay at hometown and do the bachelor and master. PhD, I decided to just completed my knowledge. I go one step further and say, okay, now these tiny guys are producing something, how to make it a real product by going to downstream processing and bioprocess design. I came for an interview to Singapore and I fell in love with the country and the university, and I decided to come here for the PhD. I grew up in a very beautiful and cultural city at the heart of my country, Iran, named Isfahan. It's a very beautiful city, one of the historical capitals. You could feel the passion about the art, and in fact, I also draw and do painting. That piece of me, it's really connected to the city. And it also helped me to look at the culture in the similar way as technology and modernism. This is a good side of my story. I needed to fight for everything to be successful. Exposing to that spirit is actually built me to be more and more stronger. You need to select to become an entrepreneur. It's not because I study entrepreneurship. My dad was an entrepreneur. He started at least 3 companies. I remember the time that he was so passionate when he started a new venture, a new company. I learned a lot of lessons from his failure and from his success. And I could feel that joy more than when he's earning money. People come and go, money come and goes, but having a signature on that company is really an unforgettable joy. I pushed to be entrepreneur because as an immigrant founder, I always needed to build a success for myself. There's no one going to build a success for me. Even when I was 22 years old, I started my first company. I had offers to go and work on the factories, but the salary just doesn't satisfy me. Doing a routine job, it doesn't satisfy me. I start from zero, building company to the 50 people, and then I came to Singapore, and now we have Allozymes as a second venture. A lot of people, when they want to start a venture, they actually look at it as I'm gonna earn a lot of money, I'm gonna be so successful, but actually they need to look at it on the risk perspective. Can they really tolerate the risk? Can they really manage the risk? You need to be a risk taker. You need to be able to have a leadership perspective. So if you cannot see the light, you cannot expect others to see the light. Of course, you need to be an opportunistic person. You need to always dig in, talk with the customers. You need to find out, is that problem is really worth to be solved? The clothes that we wear, the food that we eat, the color that we use, everything comes through the manufacturing. It is a very polluting industry, and we are harming the environment, the earth, and the nature. But what we want to do in the future is work more on the sustainable manufacturing so we can coexist with the other creatures. We can keep the earth for the future generation. And there's no answer for that rather than biotechnology. We need to produce a lot of enzymes, so we need to engineer them to make them more economically viable. And the current technology, which is advanced robotics, is so slow and expensive. A robot can just screen maximum 1,000 samples per day, which doesn't even cover 1% of the library over a year of screening. So you need to be very lucky to find what you are looking for. And we cannot build the future of humanity based on luck. We are providing 1,000x more powerful tools at our company to cover a much bigger size of the library. Without Allozymes, without our technology, I do believe that it is just insanely difficult to build what we are promising to the world on the biotransforming. We want to build a better world, but with the statistics, with the real experiments. Allozyme impact is to build the biotransformation, to make things sustainably. We are making dependency to the chemical factories lesser and lesser through the Allozyme technology.